I always wanted to be famous.
Okay, so let's talk about Maxine, which is the latest film, the final film in the trilogy for Ty West and Mia Goth's X trilogy. This could definitely be the final film, but Ty West has sort of alluded that there's more story to tell. Maybe without Maxine, maybe without Mia Goth. Maybe we see a new character introduced in Maxine that is going to get sort of a spin-off of sorts. Lily Collins' character. Who knows? But let's talk about Maxine, everything we know so far, and what could be going on in this movie. Is the Night Stalker real here? I mean, we do know that Night Stalker is real, but is the Night Stalker truly who is targeting Maxine and everybody they know? Or is it somebody else? Somebody from Maxine's past? That's what we're going to discuss today. So before we get any further into it, I want to let you know to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and comment down below your thoughts on Maxine. If you're subscribed and you comment as well on the video, you will be entered into our giveaway, which we're going to be having. We already have a giveaway winner we're going to announce today. That will be up on our socials. So follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all those other places. And we will be announcing another winner once we get to 30,000 subscribers. So all you have to do is be subscribed to the channel and comment below your thoughts and opinions. But let's talk about Maxine. So the synopsis for Maxine reads, after surviving a massacre in Texas, Maxine continues to pursue her dreams of becoming a famous actress, all while evading the Night Stalker in 1985 Los Angeles. So after Maxine survived the massacre that was committed by Pearl and also by her husband, we see that Maxine was the sole survivor here. The final girl goes on to live a happily ever after. We see that Mia Goth is here as Maxine Minx. We do know that her friend is played by Moses Sumney, who owns a video store, works at a video store. We also see that Halsey is another one of her friends here, and Giancarlo Esposito is playing her agent of sorts. Now, some of the other characters in this movie, we do have LAPD detectives as well, who are played by Michelle Monaghan, as well as Bobby Cannavale, and we have Lily Collins, who seems to be a movie star of sorts that is starring in the film that Mia Goth's character Maxine has auditioned for at the beginning of the trailer that we saw. And we know that Elizabeth Debicki is playing the director of The Puritan 2, which is the sequel for The Puritan, which Lily Collins may have been a part of as well. And we now see that they are making a sequel to it, and Lily Collins is back in the movie, possibly. So we have all of this set up right here. We have Maxine, who is trying to break out of the adult film industry to become more of a A-list Hollywood celebrity. And we have Kevin Bacon, who is a private investigator to what we're not sure of yet exactly. So I don't think that Kevin Bacon is sort of investigating the whole Night Stalker thing. I think he may be investigating Maxine more. And I feel like this is a private investigator from the church or Maxine's father as well, trying to figure out what's going on. Now, the church that Maxine's father is a part of, I think will be a large part about this film, because I think we really have to address it. There is a reason that Ty West introduced the church back in X, and we see that it was a big thing about Maxine's identity, as she keeps repeating a lot of phrases that her father would say during the sermons or whatever for this church, cult, whatever you want to call it. What we see in the trailer is we see that the Night Stalker is a big deal that's centered around this trailer, who is seemingly going around killing people in the city. Now, one of the things to note is that we do know for a fact, of course, spoilers ahead, I should have said that at the beginning, and I probably will add that at the beginning, but potential spoilers ahead, is that Halsey will be one of the victims to the Night Stalker, as we see her corpse at the end of the trailer or towards the end of it. This is going to set off a chain of events that will lead to people pointing the finger at Maxine being the killer behind it all, because it seems that Halsey's character dies right after telling Maxine to be careful of the Night Stalker. Maybe that was the last person people saw Halsey with. And so what exactly is going on here? So let's break it down, right? Because there's a ton of things going on. So we're going to break it down to these major events right here, right? The Puritan is shooting. That's a whole thing, right? That's the movie that Maxine wants to be a part of and auditions for, because we see Elizabeth Debicki being there during the audition. So that's one thing. We do know now that also Halsey and Maxine are friends, as well as Moses Sumney's character. So that's another thing to note there. We also know now as well that Lily Collins is part of the Puritan 2, because we see her dressed up as the pilgrim or whatever the case may be, and they are in fact in a movie trailer in some of these scenes. So it could be a thing where maybe Lily Collins' character and Maxine become friends or sort of rivals of sorts, because they kind of feel like they're stepping on each other's toes. That's another thing right there. Now we have to throw into account that the Night Stalker is the overall like looming evil over this, because we see shots of what is presumably the Night Stalker just hunting around. And then we also have to take into account that Maxine's father, church, cult, whatever the case may be, is looking for Maxine. That was very much so like a thing that we saw in X at the end when they were showing on the TV that they were still looking for Maxine and all of that. So Maxine is dealing with trying to become the A-list celebrity and being in the Puritan, also with evading the Night Stalker, and at the same time evading her father's church cult or the father themselves. So that's what we pretty much have going on in Maxine. A lot of different things, right? So Maxine's got a handful and a lot to deal with in this movie. So my theory here is that I think one of the characters we've already been introduced to is in fact the Night Stalker, or is using the Night Stalker persona to commit their own crimes and thus blaming it on the Night Stalker, right? But who could it be, right? Who could it be out of all of these people? So Halsey immediately, no, because we see that Halsey in fact is one of the first victims. So Halsey's clean. That's not Halsey. So what would drive somebody to kill somebody? There's a lot of different reasons, right? So one of the things I think that we're going to be seeing here is envy, because that's a big thing about, I feel like, this whole thing with X and Pearl. All of these characters' motivations were because of envy and crushed dreams. We saw it in X with Pearl, who felt this sort of apathy to their life and saw how somebody else was living their life to the fullest and all of this and pushing through, and sort of saw it as, you know, I hate that I'm seeing them thrive, so I'm going to go out and kill them. We saw it in Pearl. Same thing with Pearl. We saw Pearl, in fact, out of envy, kill her presumably friend, sister-in-law, all of this, because they were envious of the fact that they got the part that they wanted. When Maxine, I think that we could definitely see the same thing happen. Could it possibly be, this one's the wild card out there, that Maxine is doing these murders now? Because we hear it at the end of X when Pearl tells Maxine, you're gonna end up just like me. So could Maxine end up a murdering sex fiend, as she calls Pearl as well? That's a big if right there, right? Another one that I possibly could have seen as well is either Lily Collins' character or Elizabeth Debicki being the killer here. I mean, imagine this. Lily Collins has been this actress in this world. She's pretty big and stuff. And now people are diverting their attention to Maxine. This girl survived a massacre. This girl was an adult film actress before. This girl is becoming an A-lister possibly. You know, like the story, the sensationalism, the tabloids are just there, ready for Maxine and taking the light away from Lily. What better way for Lily to be seen as the girl who was starring with Maxine Minx and then had to endure and survive the death of Maxine and maybe an attack on themselves as well. You know, that could definitely be a thing right there. Or another possibility is Elizabeth Debicki's character is the murderer. What's a better story for a director to tell than they were directing this movie that was like a sequel to this maybe big hit that was before, and one of their stars gets tragically killed, and thus that director and that movie that they're making right now goes big, and then the next story is adapting the story of what just happened on set. That's a whole thing right there. So I think those are the possible suspects. It could be Maxine, it could be Elizabeth Bender, who is played by Elizabeth Debicki, or it could be Lily Collins' character of the other actress. I don't think it's necessarily the real life Night Stalker. I think that's being used as a red herring or as a cover up to who is actually doing all of these things, because they say, hey, all of these things are going on. Let's make this death seem like the Night Stalker did it by putting the pentagram and all of that there. And then easy peasy, get our hands clean, right? There's paranoia, there's pandemonium all over the streets. Everybody's scared. Nobody's going to think twice that somebody else could have done this. So that's what I think is going on here. Now, like I said, Kevin Bacon's character, I think, is just trying to investigate Maxine, trying to sort of get some information for Maxine's father. But at the same time, if let's say Maxine's not behind the murders and she's trying to evade the murders, I think she's also going to have to be evading the church that seems to be really hell-bent on getting Maxine back for whatever reason that may be. So Maxine has a lot to address here. I think some of the final shots where we see Maxine gagged and tied up is the cult in the church maybe trying to get Maxine. And we're going to see these worlds collide because it's Lily Collins' character, Elizabeth Debicki, trying to kill Maxine, and the church doesn't want Maxine dead. We could see a whole out battle between these two factions. And now I feel like I'm getting really all over the place. But those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. Let me know what you think, what's going on in Maxine. We'll have more theories, more thoughts on it if y'all want to talk about it as we get more footage, we get more pictures, we get more information, interviews, things like that. So stay tuned. But anyways, comment down below your thoughts and opinions. We are on the road to 30,000 subscribers. We are running a giveaway. If all you want to do is enter, you have to just be subscribed and you have to comment, and that gets you an entry into the giveaway, which we'll be announcing at 30,000 subscribers as well. So as always, I'll see you all next time. Stay safe, stay positive.